Welcome back to the Ron Johnson Show. And now it's time for the Daily Three. That's 3 questions, 3 minutes. Take it away, Sam.
The Wolves are back in the playoffs, Ron, so I think we're seeing what that fan base can be at its best. Obviously, the Wild are red hot. Those fans are on fire as well. So we really get a good comparison between the two after the Wolves have been down in the dumps for so long. Which fan base are you taking, the Wild or the Wolves?
Well, the Wild fans have not been let down yet. I hope not at all. Like, they haven't been let down. If they can clinch home ice, that'll help them out as well. But they haven't been let down the way the Timberwolves fans have been. The Timberwolves fans, it was great to see the start of the game where the fans did exactly what D'Angelo Russell asked for early in the season. Stand up until we make our first basket. Grizzlies. Now, imagine being a Grizzlies fan and you had to stand up until they made their first basket. It was like 8-0. Or 11-0 actually, or 12-0. It was 12-0 before they got their first basket. So that you would have been on your feet a long time. Even the people sitting on the bench side on the court, they were sitting. I don't know if they were Grizzlies fans because they were right on bench, floor seats or what, but they should have been standing as well. I'm gonna give it to the Wild fans because I just want to see what the Timberwolves fans are gonna look like in this next game. Are they gonna come in there defeated? Everybody was there early. People were there for warm-ups. The atmosphere was great early. Karl-Anthony Towns drank the Kool-Aid too fast with his comment about, oh, we're in Minnesota now. Like, and then Ja threw it right back in his face on Twitter. Like, you gotta slow down. Like, I'm starting to, like, the Lavelle E. Neal in me is coming out. Like, they're starting to celebrate some stuff way too soon. Energy and momentum is key, but you gotta chill out until you win. Rest, relax. Like, after you win, then say, yeah, I told y'all we in Minnesota now, and then carry that into game 4. Well, now you just blew 2 20-point leads, and now you have to show up and try to muster up the energy. The Grizzlies, if they're down 30, they're not phased right now. They know the Timberwolves can give it back to them in bunches. And so I'm going to go with the Wild fans. I think the Wild fans right now are just going to be a little bit more energized, and they're just going to be in the moment a little bit more. But that's just me. That's me heartbroken one day after the loss, a huge loss like that. Like, I was, again, the whole time I'm like, man, if you have this big of a lead, it's their game. It's over. And then I'm like, what is going on? So, yeah, I'm going with the Wild fans.
Yeah, I'd go Wild too. I think that there's a very passionate Wolves fan base, and they've been in hibernation for like 20 years. And I think that place is rocking when it's good, but also it takes a lot to sell out that building.
Yeah.
And the Wild sell out pretty much every game, and they have for many years. So I think that there's still a better foundation with that Wild team. And they've also given the fans way more to cheer about. So I totally get it. Next question, Chet Holmgren from Minnehaha Academy, and of course the Gonzaga Bulldogs. He is going to the NBA after 1 year at Gonzaga. How is Chet going to translate to the National Basketball Association?
Well, I mean, you look at today's NBA, he's not going to be a banger. Like, we know that. He's going to be a 7-foot unicorn. He's going to have to develop a three. Like, he can shoot it, but he's not like, it's not the thing where people are scared when he gets the ball at the top of the key. He's not, I mean, and Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't do that either, but he makes the shots. But he's not the greatest big man shooter in the history of the NBA. Like, Chet, in my opinion, is going to be a slasher. He's long. He can handle the ball. Not like KD, but he can handle the ball. I see him having to go to a team like a Warriors, a team that's going to move the ball, a team that doesn't require a post player, a team that can use his size. Because when you have 3 shooters like Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson, and you have Draymond Green as your bully, you throw Chet in there, and not say he's going to go to the Warriors. They don't have a high enough pick, but you throw Chet in there, and he's able to just have space because those guys require a ton of people at the top. Same with the pick and roll at the top of the key. The guy is going to help Steph. Like, he's going to help his defender with Steph, which leaves Chet to dive and dish or dive and dunk or dive and then pop and shoot. So I see him having to go to a team like that. Like, I don't see him being on the Spurs. Like, he can't be in a set offense where he's back to the basket, or having to, be a specific Tim Duncan, David Robinson type of player. I just don't see that fitting his game. He needs to go to a team like the Nets that spread it out and they, ISO ball it. A team like the Celtics that move the ball a lot and it's kick until somebody gets it, drive and go. But yeah, I can see him being successful. I don't know how soon, because again, there is always that Porzingis. Like Porzingis was good for a while and then injury set in. And so how can he get going and stay sustainable in the NBA? That's going to be the question. But you see Jalen Suggs kind of got in right away and he's doing well. Tyus Jones found a niche right now with the Grizzlies. He's coming in, hitting big buckets and getting big minutes up there. Trey Jones is not as big of a player with the Spurs, but he's there. He's playing. He's on the team. He's getting minutes. He's making a contribution. So yeah, I think Chet's just another line of great Minnesota high school basketball players is going to get drafted high, and he's got to get to a team where he can figure it out and be able to have space. Like he's not a back to the basket kid.
Yeah, and I don't think he can be the number one guy. I don't think he's ever going to be the best player on a good team. I think that's unfair to him. I think he needs a wingman, kind of like he had with Suggs at Minnehaha Academy. Those two were unstoppable.
1-2 punch.
It's really hard to project how someone like
unless he puts on body weight like Giannis. If he can put on body weight like Antetokounmpo, and all of a sudden he comes out ripped up like like Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious or something, or The Rock. But I don't feel like he's a weight room warrior. Like
a lot of milkshakes, a lot of protein shakes for Chet. That's gonna be the regimen.
Baked potatoes. He's got to pile on the baked chicken. Like he's got to eat a lot and lift a lot, do curls in the car, driving to the facility. I don't know if he can do it. But again, we didn't know if Giannis could do it, and all of a sudden, look at his body. So when you get money, when you become a millionaire, LeBron was bald and now he has hair. So you never know what millions can do for you.
The Twins scored 4 total runs in their series against Kansas City. They won 1, lost 2. And as a team, Ron, they are batting .202 this season. That's 27th in the league. Where have the bats gone? This was supposed to be an offensive team.
Yeah, chemistry. I'd say, I guess when Buxton was in there, it seemed great because they had the back-to-back bomb brothers. You just don't have that same energy. Like they put up big numbers against the Red Sox and then nothing. That's kind of, I don't know. Maybe this is the team. Maybe they're like the stock market. They're going to be, you got to buy low, sell high. Like you got to take them. And if you're going to go with betonline.net, bet when you can in their downtime. Like right now is a perfect time to start hedging some bets, figuring out when some good games are coming. And then when you feel it, because this is like a slot machine, you got to feel that tingle, that Peter tingle, Spider-Man. You got to feel it. When you feel it, pull that, make that bet, because that's going to be the game where nobody's going to, pick them to win. Like the Red Sox, they're going to give you great odds. You could put down $100 to $200 bet and make some good odds and a good return on your investment. And then once they get hot, just back off, because they're going to come right back down to earth, back off. But this is probably the team we're looking at. They're going to be up and down. I talked about that with LaVelle. 10 wins, they need to get 6 out of 4, and they're not heading in that pace. So let's get through these next 10, and then we'll start at the 20 game mark, and then we'll start counting from there. I'm gonna do these in bunches of 10s and see what their 10 game record is every 10 games, and then we'll kind of go from there. But that's my thought right now on the Twins. I don't know. It's chemistry. Like guys feed off of each other. It's like 3-point shooters with Jordan Poole. Steph Curry coming off the bench is probably the greatest weapon in the history of bench players, in the history of everness of bench players. I mean, James Harden coming off the bench for OKC, not even close to what Steph Curry gives him off the bench. It's chemistry. And so unless Buxton's going to, Paul Pierce that thing and come out, after leaving off in a wheelchair, come back out and hit 4 home runs in a game or something, or in the next series hit 4 home runs to give them a lift and say, hey, I'm back like Michael Jordan when he came out of retirement. I don't know what it's going to take, but they have to get some energy and some, some, and maybe it's the weather here too. I mean, this is a tough town right now. It's rainy, it's cold. Like in Tampa and in Florida, like they're feeling good right now out there getting ready for some baseball. Minnesota, California, Texas, Minnesota, like this is tough to wake up right now and go out and play some baseball and get like mentally dialed in. Like, okay, we're going to go indoors, but look, I got out my car and I'm freezing cold. That's a tough one.
Yeah, you almost get a free pass for whatever happens in April, I think, in the major leagues, because it is so erratic. You got games getting delayed and postponed. Yep. There's a lot of rain. You're wearing long sleeves. It's just harder to do baseball things. So I like that point. Bonus question. Wild and Blues are still neck and neck for home ice advantage. They're tied in the standings. The Wild have one additional game in hand, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it going to be for the Wild to clinch that home ice?
Yeah, so you look at the Kraken. I think that's going to be, they have to win these games they're supposed to win. They can't have a night, and I'm not going to be Nostradamus on this one, but I hope, when I get up Saturday morning, it's not one of those. Wild Twitter is absolutely pissed off, because even though they're in the playoffs, but pissed off because the Wild couldn't do what they're supposed to do. Again, momentum. We know they can score in bunches. I've seen them down 4-1, and they made a huge push to come back. I think it was against the Blues, and they ended up losing, but down 4-1, came back. So that's the key. Never get, like JT brought up with the Kraken. The Kraken have to come out and be on time. Get out there early, be on time with everything they're doing, not score early, but just be on time, be in the moment, be in the game at every point of it, because we know when you're changing lines, if you're not in the game mentally and you're taking your time to get off the ice, next guy's taking his time to get on the ice, and it's a lazy, switch out, line change, that's how breakaways happen, because the other team is paying attention to that. They're gassed, they're tired, the coach is preparing. Like, look at him. He's bending over. He's not really serious right now about challenging you. So a change is coming. The minute you see it, go. Push it up the court. It's like a fast break in the NBA. That's how I kind of look at it. Push it. As soon as you see him keeling over and he's tired, and he's about to make a line change, get ready to go. Muster up that energy. But that's where I see this. Like, they have to be able to continue to win the games they're supposed to win. And then those close ones, right now, they're, again, overtime. They have a chance. So they're one of the best overtime teams right now, but they have to do that. Also for the goaltenders, they have to show who's going to be the guy. I think JT brought that up. You have a short leash because you have two. You had a different thought on that you need to give them a long leash and not feel like at the minute I make a mistake, I'm going to get yanked. But hey, everybody, that's his coaching hat. So everybody has their own thoughts on what to do with these goaltenders. But it's an embarrassment of riches. Like, some teams don't have one that they feel like is great, and the Wild have two they could use to start the playoffs. But that's my thought. I think to clinch home ice, they have to win these early ones, really lean on guys, use their weight, get heavy with them, push them, be a bully at points, don't end up in the box though, but still be a bully out there on the ice. I think that's going to be the key.
Yeah, I think it's 8 out of 10. I think if there's a game 7 against the Blues, you want that at XL Energy Center, where they have an absurdly good record. I think they're 11-0-1 in their last 12 at home. So
and like we were saying at home ice, you gave me those stats: 28-7-2 for the Wild, 26-9-5. So both are good at home. So yeah, you definitely want that home ice, because 28 wins at home compared to 7 losses. That's a big deal, and that's no travel. Like, having to travel on a game 7 is hard. People act like because you're, at $1 million sport, $1 billion owner, that it's an easy process to get on a plane and go. It is easy, but it's still taxing. You're still tired. You're still sitting up in the air. You still have swell, because if you just had an injury or your ankles are sore, that flight could, create swelling in your knees and your joints. And that's when you see guys are scratched. They're not skating in pre-skate, and then all of a sudden, so-and-so's not going. He can't get the swelling out of his knee because he banged into the deal, and then he flew, and the inflammation, we just can't get it under control. There's little things like that happen all the time. That's why, basketball, that's why we were hoping the Timberwolves could have won game 3 and 4 so that they can close it out at home in 6, because now if you lose this next one and you go back, it's probably over in Memphis in 5. Like, it's probably Grizzlies in 5. But yeah, for the Wild, you want home ice.